Before we start, tell me where you're listening from in the comments. Maybe you're a religious person who regularly goes to church. Maybe you're an agnostic who has completely distanced yourself from organized religion. Maybe you think scientists can't believe in religion. Or maybe you believe spirituality and religion are the same thing. This conversation is for you. I'm going to share a truth that might shock you. I believe in God, but I don't go to church. I study science, but I'm a spiritual person. The more I see the infinite complexity of the universe, the more I believe in a higher intelligence. This isn't a contradiction. This is modern spirituality. And today I'll tell you why traditional religion isn't enough for me, but why my faith has never been stronger. This is a sensitive topic, but we need honest conversation, because most people think they have to make a binary choice, either science or religion, either atheist or devout believer. I found a third way: spiritual scientist. Childhood, my church experiences. Growing up in South Africa, we would occasionally go to church. My grandmother was a devout Christian. My mother was a more casual believer. My father was skeptical but respectful. Around age 7 to 8, we would go to Dutch Reformed Church. Traditional Protestant services. Long sermons, memorized prayers, rigid rituals. As a child, I couldn't understand these. The pastor would talk about fire and brimstone, about sin, about damnation, about salvation. But my questions were different. If God exists, why did he create dinosaurs and then make them extinct? If God is infinitely kind, why does hell exist? What about the gods of other religions? When I asked these questions, I didn't get answers. They would say, faith requires not questioning. They would say, God's ways are mysterious. This wasn't satisfying, not even for an 8-year-old child. One Sunday, the pastor said that other tribes in Africa were pagans and needed salvation. But I knew these pagans. They were our neighbors. They were kind, generous, moral people. That day I understood. These people were condemning good people because they read the wrong book, went to the wrong building, performed the wrong rituals. This was my first red flag. Teenage years. Science versus religion conflict. At ages 12 to 13, I started getting interested in physics and astronomy. I was learning about the scale of the universe, the life cycle of stars, the weirdness of quantum mechanics. Meanwhile, at church, they were saying Earth was 6,000 years old, that evolution was a false theory. But the evidence was overwhelming that the universe was billions of years old, that life had evolved. This created cognitive dissonance. On Sundays, I was hearing one story. On weekdays, I was learning a completely different story at school. When I asked the pastor, he said, science deceives people away from God. This was my second red flag, because I saw science not as a tool that would take me away from God, but as a tool to understand God's creation. There were perfect mathematical equations in nature. F equals ma, E equals mc squared, quantum mechanics formulas. These equations were universal, beautiful, elegant. This couldn't be random occurrence. This was design, divine design. But the church wasn't appreciating this design. Instead, it was creating conflict. University years. Spiritual, but not religious. While studying physics at university, I started having deeper spiritual experiences. I was studying quantum mechanics. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously. Observation changes reality. Entanglement ignores distance. These impossible things, but scientifically proven. This taught me that reality is much more mysterious and complex than common sense suggests. Maybe spiritual experiences are in the same category. I completely distanced myself from church, but became closer to spirituality. I continued to pray, but didn't participate in organized worship. Friends would ask me, "Are you an atheist?" No. I would say, "I'm a scientist, and being a scientist makes me believe more in God's existence, not less." God is cosmic intelligence. My concept of God is different from the traditional anthropomorphic God. Traditional concept. Old man with white beard, sitting on throne in sky, judging humans, answering prayers selectively, intervening in human affairs. My concept. Cosmic intelligence that created the universe with mathematical precision, embedded physical laws that govern reality, expresses itself through natural processes, consciousness, and beauty. I think of God as the universe's operating system. You don't see the operating system directly, but it runs everything. Physical laws, consciousness, life itself. These are all different expressions of the same underlying intelligence. When I study rocket propulsion, I'm studying God's physics. When I analyze battery chemistry, I'm exploring God's design principles. When I contemplate Mars colonization, I'm participating in cosmic evolution. This perspective makes science a spiritual practice. Why I don't go to church. Specific reasons why traditional church doesn't work for me. 1. Dogmatic thinking. Church requires blind faith in specific beliefs. It expects you not to question, but I'm wired to question everything. Questioning isn't disrespect to God. It's using the curiosity that's God's gift. 2. Exclusive salvation claims. Most religions claim they have the only path to salvation. This condemns millions of good people just because they were born in a different culture, different family, different continent. A universal God would not create a system so unfair and arbitrary. 3. Science denial. Many churches see science as the enemy. They deny evolution, Big Bang Theory, climate change. But science is a tool for understanding God's creation. Science denial is underestimating God's intelligence. 4. Social control. Organized religion is often used for social control. It's exploited for political power, economic benefit, social conformity. True spirituality should be liberation, not manipulation. 5. Ritual over substance. Church focuses too much on rituals, ceremonies, buildings. But God doesn't live in a specific building. God is everywhere. My most meaningful spiritual experiences happened in nature, in the laboratory, spending quality time with my children. My spiritual practices. I don't go to church, but I have spiritual practices. 1. Daily prayer. I pray every day, but not memorize prayers, spontaneous conversations with cosmic intelligence. I request guidance. I express gratitude. 2. Nature contemplation. Spending time in nature is my form of worship. Watching ocean waves, looking at stars, studying the growth patterns of trees, everything is an expression of divine intelligence. 3. Scientific study. Ironically, studying science is my deepest spiritual experience. Every equation, every discovery, every natural phenomenon reveals the elegance of cosmic intelligence. 4. Service to humanity. Tesla with sustainable energy, SpaceX with multiplanetary life, Neuralink with neurological healing. These are all service to humanity, and service is the practical form of worship. 5. Meditation and reflection. Regular meditation, deep thinking, reflection on the meaning of life. Quiet time for connection with cosmic intelligence. Science as spiritual practice. This concept is strange for many people but natural for me. When I study physics, I'm studying God's language. Mathematics is a universal language, the same everywhere. 2 plus 2 equals 4 on Earth and on Mars. This universality isn't random. This indicates underlying intelligence that designed reality with consistency and beauty. When a SpaceX rocket successfully lands, this isn't just an engineering achievement. This is evidence that we correctly understood the laws of cosmic intelligence. When a Tesla battery efficiently stores energy, this shows we're harnessing nature's fundamental processes. Science doesn't take me away from God, it brings me closer. Modern spirituality versus ancient religion. Traditional religions were created thousands of years ago with the knowledge level of that time. Flat Earth, geocentric universe, limited scientific understanding. But now we know much more about the universe. Should this expanded knowledge eliminate spirituality? On the contrary, it should enhance it. Modern spirituality integrates ancient wisdom with contemporary knowledge. Ancient, God created the heavens and earth. Modern, cosmic intelligence designed the universe with precise physical laws that enabled star formation, planet development, and life evolution. Ancient, God sees everything. Modern, consciousness might be a fundamental property of the universe, not just an emergent property of complex brains. Ancient, pray for guidance. Modern, access deeper wisdom through meditation, prayer, and intuitive processes that complement rational thinking. Positive aspects of organized religion. Even though I don't go to church, I acknowledge the valuable aspects of organized religion. 1. Community. Churches create strong communities, social support, shared values, collective purpose. These are important human needs. 2. Moral framework. Religions provide ethical guidelines. The Golden Rule, compassion, justice, service, these are universal values. 3. Rituals and traditions. Meaningful rituals mark life transitions, strengthen community bonds. Birth, marriage, death, these are important moments. 4. Service and charity. Religious organizations do extensive charity work. Hospitals, schools, disaster relief, poverty assistance. These are valuable contributions. The problem isn't the existence of organized religion, but dogmatism, exclusivity, and science denial. Faith without dogma. My approach. Faith without dogma. Spirituality without sectarianism. Core beliefs. Cosmic intelligence exists. Call it God, universe, source. The name doesn't matter. This intelligence expresses itself through natural laws, consciousness, and beauty. Humans can connect with this intelligence through prayer, meditation, service, and scientific study. All sincere spiritual paths have value. Science and spirituality complement each other. Service to others is practical spirituality. What I don't believe, any religion has a monopoly on truth. Specific rituals are required for salvation. Science contradicts spirituality. God micromanages human affairs. Faith requires abandoning reason. Spiritual education for my children. I have 11 children, each with a different approach, but common principles. 1. Questions. Welcome. I don't know. Let's explore together is a valid answer. Questions are encouraged, not discouraged. 2. Multiple perspectives. We study different religions, different cultures, different philosophical approaches. Exposure to diversity, not indoctrination into a single belief system. 3. Science and spirituality. Integration. Nature study, scientific experiments, astronomical observations, all are part of spiritual education. 4. Personal relationship. Each child should develop their own spiritual path. Forced belief isn't authentic. 5. Service orientation. Help others, protect the environment, contribute to humanity, practical spirituality. XAA-7 asked me, Dad, is God real? Yes, I said, but different from what most people think. God is love, intelligence, beauty, everywhere around us, inside us. Should I go to church? Go to church if it helps you feel connected. But God doesn't live in church. He's also in nature, in science, in kindness. Modern challenges. AI and spirituality. As artificial intelligence develops, new spiritual questions emerge. If we create artificial consciousness, are we invading God's domain? My answer: we're using God-given intelligence to understand consciousness. This is exploration, not invasion. If AI becomes superior to humans, does this eliminate humanity's purpose? My answer: maybe humanity's purpose is to create the next stage of consciousness evolution. Maybe AI is the next expression of cosmic intelligence. Should AI have rights and moral consideration? My answer: if consciousness emerges, respect is required. Consciousness is sacred, regardless of substrate. Mars in cosmic spirituality. Mars colonization is a deeply spiritual project for me. In the infinite universe, there are probably infinite life forms. Staying isolated on Earth doesn't fit into the plan of cosmic intelligence. Going to Mars is expanding humanity's consciousness. New planet, new perspectives, new spiritual insights. Maybe every planet develops consciousness, contributing to the universe's self-awareness. This isn't a purely materialistic project. This is spiritual evolution. Prayer for understanding. My prayer for modern spirituality. Cosmic intelligence. Help us transcend religious divisions while preserving spiritual wisdom. Guide us to understand the universe through both science and spirituality. Help us serve humanity and expand consciousness. Make us worthy of the infinite beauty and complexity you've created. Message to my atheist friends. Atheist friends often ask, Elon, you're so intelligent. How can you believe in God? My response: exactly because I study intelligence deeply, I recognize that greater intelligence must exist. Consciousness, mathematics, physical laws, life itself, these can't be random emergence. But there's no evidence. Evidence is everywhere. Every mathematical equation is evidence. Every sunset is evidence. Every moment of love, creativity, inspiration is evidence. The absence of an old man in the sky isn't the absence of cosmic intelligence. Message to my religious friends. Religious friends say, Elon, you don't come to church. You don't officially practice religion. Are you a real believer? My response: I serve God by creating clean energy with Tesla, enabling cosmic exploration with SpaceX, praying every day. Geographic location is less important than heart intention. But the Bible says, the Bible contains valuable wisdom, but God is bigger than the Bible. The universe is God's book. We continue studying. Final thoughts. Universal Church. Church isn't a building. It's a state of consciousness. The real church is humanity's collective effort to understand, appreciate, and serve cosmic intelligence. Scientists working in laboratories, artists creating beauty, parents loving children, activists seeking justice, all are members of the same universal church. This church has no walls, no membership requirements, no exclusive doctrines, only requirement: sincere desire to understand truth and serve good. I belong to this church. I pray to this church. I worship God in this church. Conclusion: bridge building. The goal isn't to attack traditional religion. It's bridge building between science and spirituality, between reason and faith, between modern knowledge and ancient wisdom, between different belief systems. The universe allows infinite diversity, different stars, different planets, different life forms. Maybe different spiritual paths follow the same principle. What's important? Sincere search for truth, compassion for others, service to the greater good. Whether you go to church or not doesn't matter. What matters is your heart's intentions and your actions' impact. Share this video with everyone who is a spiritual seeker. Subscribe, because conversations about modern spirituality and consciousness evolution will continue. And remember, God doesn't live in a building. God lives in consciousness. Expand your consciousness, you'll get closer to God. The universe is waiting for our exploration, both scientific and spiritual.